Adobe just made a massive move by acquiring Topaz Labs. Figma just shipped a full native animation timeline right on the design canvas, and a motion designer is running live experiments to find out if AI is finally taking his job. It's Motion Mondays, and I'm not AI yet. Adobe announced they are acquiring Topaz Labs, the company behind video AI, gigapixel, and photo AI, and this marks Adobe's first major acquisition of an AI creative tools company. Some of Topaz's tools are already integrated into Photoshop. They also have standalone apps, and those will reportedly remain available post-acquisition. Topaz's apps are known for being incredible for up-resing both video and images. Now, where this gets interesting is the potential for deeper integration into Photoshop, Premiere Pro, or After Effects. So if you're working with footage, you can easily clean it up. You can change it from 30 to 60 frames per second. And through the lens of actually doing 3D renders, you could render faster with grainier outputs at lower res even, and then clean it and up-res it with Topaz. So I think this makes a lot of sense for Adobe. Motion designers are already using these tools alongside Photoshop and Premiere, so bringing Topaz in-house feels like a really smart move, but what do you think? I'd love to know if you're already using Topaz. Let me know in the comments. Now on to some School of Motion news. We just launched our latest course, Unreal Engine for Broadcast Design, which just went live for all access members last week. It's taught by the amazing Jonathan Winbush. We also have Rive Academy Kickstart, which is fully re-recorded for the new UI and is in the library right now. Then we have our free Node Ninja plugin for Unreal Engine. It just got updated for the latest version of Unreal Engine, which is 5.8. You can grab that for free. And if you navigate over to the Coming Soon page, we have a couple Blender courses on the way to keep an eye out over the summer. And we also have some live events coming up. We've got our community office hours on July 8th, followed by our live workshop on July 9th with Elijah Sheffield, who is the instructor for Blender for motion designers, and our upcoming Grease Pencil Field Guide course. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure you're signed up for all access to join. The link for all the information will be in the description. Substance Painter just updated to version 12.1 with some nice quality of life improvements. One of the big ones is the auto rebake function. Now this removes a major bottleneck because your mesh maps now rebake automatically as you adjust settings, so you don't need to manually trigger that type of thing. They also redesigned the baking UI, grouping common settings in one place. You can now do paint skew corrections directly on low poly meshes, which helps fix normal related seam issues. They also added hard surface auto UV unwrapping, and OpenPBR is now the default workflow, which is helpful when something looks great in Substance, but then looks a little off in your 3D DCC. And if you've been wanting to learn Substance Painter, be sure to check out our Substance Painter course. It's included on All Access. If you've ever wanted SketchUp style push-pull modeling directly inside of Cinema 4D, a new plugin called Nordmesh does exactly that. It's a handy plugin that gives you 6 modeling tools right inside of Cinema 4D. There's a pen, rectangle, push, rotate, offset, and a measure tool. Basically, this is built for anyone who just wants to draw a face and extrude it into a watertight solid using that classic SketchUp workflow. You don't need to mess with any booleans or anything like that to make it work. It gives you a great option for building geometry quickly, and it's great to have this kind of fast modeling workflow available directly inside of Cinema 4D. You can grab this one over at the Nordmesh website right now. It's currently available for $46 at its launch sale, so you can pick it up for a pretty decent price right now. A new After Effects plugin called CurveConductor makes working with animation curves a whole lot easier across your entire comp. This tool basically makes your timing style a live reusable system. You can define one easing curve and then assign it to as many properties as you want. When you edit that one curve, the changes will propagate everywhere at once. It comes with a marker mode that gives you a per layer control, and you can even have multiple curves stacked on one single property. It includes velocity matching, which smoothly blends in and outs of your native After Effects keyframes. There is a motion path control, and you get curve blending so you can easily transition from a smooth feel to a snappy one. If you're doing any type of strict motion brand guidelines work, this is going to save you a ton of time, so go grab it over at AE Scripts and AE Plugins. Now onto some cool work from across the interwebs, and first up is a new character reel from Cub Studio, and it's awesome. It features a mix of stylized 3D characters and environments alongside really clean 2D illustrations. They use a lot of personality-driven animation, and they have such a wide range of styles. The energy is always there, and I'm always such a huge fan of anything Cub Studio does. Next is a piece from Roger Kilimanjaro, who has this interesting Instagram series called "Is AI Taking My Job Yet?" So he's basically doing some tests and getting a sense of what AI is capable of in terms of his specific workflow. He is feeding his own renders into the AI and then is comparing the outputs to what he created himself. So sometimes the AI does a great job, other times, not so much. So I think this is a pretty healthy way to deal with AI because you're going to fear whatever you don't understand, right? So it's definitely not taking Roger's job right now because his taste is obviously what's driving the whole thing to begin with. And finally, we have Lucia Alonso. She is a Ringling grad from the Canary Islands, and her clients include brands like Duolingo, Nike, and Adult Swim. She has an awesome mix of cell animation and 3D work, and it's really not all that surprising to see someone out of Ringling coming out and making incredible work like this. Be sure to check out all of these artists' work in full. You'll find links to all of them in the description below. Now, I just discovered a really cool app called Texture Ripper that lets you rip textures from pretty much any photo. So how it works is you can take a photo of a surface, and even if it's shot at a completely skewed angle, you can just mark the regions with a polygon. The tool corrects the perspective distortion and turns it into a flat head-on texture. It has seamless tiling built right in, and you can pack the textures onto an atlas and export them as PNG files. Now, there's absolutely no AI involved here. It relies on a lot of manual selection, and the developer is very transparent about the current limits of the tool. For example, the atlas packing is manual, and the lighting correction only averages the color, so you can't adjust things too much. But if you're trying to pull textures from anything in the real world, this seems to be like a super handy and affordable option for you. Weight painting in Blender is now slightly less painful. There's a very helpful plugin called Weight Paintbox. It allows you to speed up the notoriously tedious process of weight painting inside of Blender. They just released a brand new update that makes the workflow much faster for characters with layered or split meshes. So what it means is now you can paint weights across multiple separate objects simultaneously, which is a massive deal for any characters with clothing, accessories, or split geometry. The visual overlay also works directly in pose mode, so you can see exactly what you're doing. There's also a smooth and unsmooth heat map with a smooth circle control, and the deformation box now shapes freely just like a standard cube. So if you do any type of character rigging or modeling inside of Blender, you should definitely check this one out. You can pick it up over at Superhive right now. Now on to this week's Student of the Week, who is Abraham E. He just took our character animation bootcamp, and he's got a really great story. So he mentioned he's been curious about character animation for a while, but found it daunting and challenging because, well, character animation kind of is. But he wanted to give it a proper go with some structure. Now, he had previously taken our animation bootcamp, and he admits that course kicked his butt, as it does everybody. And he's still early on in his character animation course, but you can already see he's translating those foundational animation skills to his characters. Now, that's just an awesome example of someone deciding to be curious about something and then attacking it with the structure going through our courses. So congrats on entering the world of character animation, Abraham. And you can check out more of his lovely work over at his Behance. You can find a link to that in the description. Figma just launched a full native animation timeline, so you can now animate directly inside of Figma. They officially introduced Figma Motion, which is absolutely huge for anyone who's doing any designing in Figma and wants the keyframe properties. So you can keyframe things like your traditional translate, opacity, rotation, apply animation presets, and there's also 3D transforms coming soon. It even has an AI agent for motion where you can kind of type in prompts, and it has full animation curves. The typical Figma workflow before this was pretty clunky. If you were a UI or UX designer, you would create static designs or basic prototypes, right? You would then export those assets and hand them off to a motion designer, or you would bring them into After Effects yourself to animate. Then you would export a Lottie file or a video and bring it back into Figma. Now, Figma Motion reduces that friction by letting the motion happen in the exact same file in the same app. And anyone can go in to edit and export animations. And more importantly, if you're designing your brand systems inside of Figma, one thing you couldn't really do is make a motion system. This update opens up the possibilities for complete motion systems to live right inside of Figma. Now, I would not say this is like coming for After Effects at all, but if you're doing light animation or web UI animations, this feels more like stepping into the more Rive kind of space. Either way, by making motion native to the canvas, Figma's betting that animation becomes a part of the design conversation from day one and not an afterthought. If you're a Rive user, you have until July 2nd for a shot at $10,000. Rive is currently hosting a brand new character animation challenge that looks super fun. You basically get to take your characters and plug them into a user interface, and they have to respond to user input instead of just kind of staying there in little standalone animation loops. There's a $10,000 prize, as I mentioned before, that's on the line, and the interactive character brief is available right now on the Contra website. So if you have 1 week to get something done, you could win a lot of money here and have a lot of fun bringing your character to life interactively inside of Rive. Pixel Pixel Tokyo is back and the lineup is absolutely stacked. Now this is an event close to my heart because I help organize it, and this is basically an incredible design and animation conference in Japan that's fully dedicated to highlighting both Japanese and international talent on the same stage. Now this year's speaker lineup includes yours truly, Chris Schmidt, Jonathan Wimbush, and we're super pumped to welcome studios from Japan like Maltra and WoW, plus international studios like Golden Wolf, Illo, and Get It Studio. It's all happening October 17th at the Terada Warehouse in Tokyo. There is going to be full Japanese to English translation available, so you don't have to worry about a language barrier or firing up your Duolingo Japanese. So if you've been looking to get to Japan and you need an excuse, well, this is a great business expense reason. And that's it for Motion Mondays. Don't forget our brand new Unreal Engine for Broadcast Design course is officially live for all of our All Access members. And if you want to dive into the new interface, the fully re-recorded Rive Academy Kickstart is also waiting for you in the library. As always, all the links to all the stories will be in the description below. Thanks so much for watching and hope you have a great week.